Hello, in this video, we're going to focus on how to make a study plan. Is this the most important skill you can have as a student? I honestly think it is, but especially if you are a working adult student. If you have a job and you're a parent and you have people that you're responsible for and your life is full of things, you absolutely have to have a plan to make sure that school can fit into that busy life. I think probably most of you know, or will find out soon, that if you try to wing it, it doesn't work very well. You get exhausted, you're not able to do your best work. Sometimes you're not even able to finish your work. So let's use this skill to prevent some of that suffering right out in front by learning to make a study plan. Let's get started. Before we start to make a plan, we have to ask the question, when are you free? Not just when are you free, but when are you really free? When do you really have time to do schoolwork? Sometimes we think we have free time, but when we look at the way life actually shakes out, it turns out we're not really as free as we thought we were in terms of our time. So I'm going to ask you to take a look at the link below that says your weekly schedule. Or if you have trouble with that link, it's also in the overview document for this week. Click on that to open the template. When you click on the link, you should see this. And right up here in the right corner, it says use template. Click on that to open your copy of the document. And it's going to open up here for you in Google Docs or Google Drive. Remember, this won't work if you're not signed into your school email. So make sure you're signed into your eastern.edu email so that this document will open up. Okay, let's get back to it. The document here lays out the whole week. And what I'm going to ask you to do is take an assessment of what you're up to throughout the week. Now, I can't get up any earlier than 6 a.m. any day of the week. So I'm going to start by filling out that before 6 a.m., I'm sleeping. I wish I could go to bed around 9 or 10 at night, but my life doesn't really allow that. I usually get to bed around 11, 11:30, so I'm going to put my sleep there as well. Now, as I begin to fill out my weekly schedule, I'm going to focus on things that are scheduled, things that have a specific start and stop time where I have to be at a place and doing a thing. For me, the biggest scheduled thing I have is work, and work starts at 8. I'll highlight, right-click, and copy so that I don't have to type it every time. And I work from 8. I'm just pasting this in until 5 on Monday. The same is true on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Friday, I get out a little bit early. So work stops at 3. On Sundays, I always go to church from 10 to 11. And I usually hang out at my church's coffee hour from 11 to 12 for an hour afterwards. That's pretty scheduled, so I'm going to put that in there too. And on Wednesday nights, I have a church committee meeting, and that goes from 6 to 8. So let me put that in there too. So a lot of my week is taken up already with sleeping, work, and church. These are my scheduled things. Next, I want to think about when I don't have something scheduled, but I know that I'm going to be busy. So let me look at my schedule again and see when my attention is almost certainly going to be distracted. I'm usually making dinner, except on Wednesdays when I have committee. I'm making and eating dinner with my family from 6 to 7. So let me put that in there. I won't be able to study and make dinner at the same time. That's not really a reasonable thing to expect from myself. So I'm going to put that there. I'm not responsible for dinner on Saturday, and we usually get takeout on Sunday, but we eat together. So let me put that here. I'm not making it, but I'm eating it. So these are times that I know I'm going to be with my family and I won't be able to study at the same time. People are going to want and need my attention during this time, so it's not good study time. Next, I want to make sure that I am adding time for rest and support. Talking about rest, a person who is not rested cannot do well. So the ideal student is a person who has time to rest. You don't want your schedule so packed that every hour is accounted for and you never have time to take a nap, gossip with a friend, check out Instagram, watch TV. That kind of stuff is necessary for your body to reset. So make sure rest time is in your schedule and you see it as important. When I'm talking about support, what I mean is there time when other people who care about you are able to fill your cup by talking with you, being in community with you, because those things are going to fill up your soul in the same way you need to rest your body. So make sure all of that stuff is also in your schedule to help you be the best student that you can be. All right, where do I want my rest to be? Honestly, I would love to have my Saturday afternoons to kind of be lazy. Do the things that I like to do that maybe aren't necessarily responsibilities. And I like to see my friends on Saturday night too. So that's usually when they're free, and that's usually when I can get childcare if I need it. So let's put support on Saturday night. Maybe on Saturday night, I'll be able to go out, spend time with my friends or with my sister or something like that so that I can get filled up a little bit. Okay, now I am looking at my whole schedule and I see that scheduled things and distracted attention and rest and support are accounted for. Now I get to figure out when my study time is. The online classes at Eastern usually take about 6 hours a week worth of work to really get them done. Some people need a little bit more, some people need a little bit less, but we can estimate that you're going to need 6 hours to get the work done. So we're looking within the schedule to see where that might happen. When you're choosing your study time, there are a couple of things that you want to make sure of. First, make sure you're free. You can't study and work at the same time. It's very difficult to study and parent at the same time. It's hard to study and hang out with friends at the same time. So we're looking for free time in the schedule. Also, the ideal is if your study time can be quiet. Now, that doesn't mean like don't listen to music while you study. A lot of people like to have some sound when they're studying. But by quiet, I mean you're not, I don't know, studying while 15 preschoolers run around and scream behind you at the same time. It's really hard to focus and really hard to get your schoolwork done. So we're looking for hours where I'm free and also I can be in a place that's pretty quiet. Also, ideally, we're looking for a time when we're undistracted. This is usually the part where parents look at me and go, I'm a parent of small children. There's no such thing as undistracted. And I get it. It's really hard to find a time when kids aren't going to be needing you or asking you for things. But our ideal is if the people who love you, the people in your family, the people in your community can step up and help you honor your study time by saying, okay, I'm going to keep an eye on your responsibilities so that you can have these undistracted hours to finish your work. Look and see if there's anywhere in your schedule or anyone in your community who's willing to help you make sure that you get that time. That is the ideal. And finally, the ideal study time is rested. It's pretty easy to look at this schedule and say, well, the free time is at 6 a.m. and 9 p.m. And you know yourself. Are you a morning person? Are you an evening person? Is it realistic to say that you're going to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and study? For some of you, absolutely. Some people can get up at 6 and it's a great time for them to work. Some people are never going to roll out of that bed. It's going to be snooze, 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 and it's never going to get done. Same thing for the evening. Some people are night owls. You know that's your good time to be working. Some people are going to fall right asleep if they try to do their work at night. And they're going to wake up in the morning and say, oh no, I missed the deadline. So think about what you know about yourself and decide where your study time is. I'm one of those morning people, but I am not a 6 a.m. morning person. So since right now I can work from home and I don't have a commute before I go to work, I'm going to make my study time from 7 to 8. And I'm going to give myself an hour. All right, I gave myself 5 hours of study time. I know I need 6, and I want to give myself a little bit of freedom. I know Saturday morning is a pretty quiet time in my house, and I also know that most of my responsibilities can be taken care of by other people in my family at that time. So I'm also going to give myself some study time in the morning before lunch. And I'm also the kind of person who likes to get ready for the week ahead. So I think I'm also just going to give myself a little bit of study time on Sunday too. That's when I can ask other people to give me a little bit of space and time. So I need 6 hours a week to do my class, but as you can see, I've given myself 12 hours. Why did I do that? God gives us grace because God knows that we fall short. And so I'm going to ask you to do the same. When you're making your weekly plan, give yourself grace. If you don't wake up at 6 o'clock on Tuesday morning and you lose that hour, you want a little wiggle room. You don't want to be stuck. You want time for things to happen, like maybe you feel sick or somebody gets hurt. Things happen in life all the time. And so you want to put your study time into the plan so that if you miss something, at least there's a backup. There's still study time available. In our Eastern classes, traditionally, you have some things due on Wednesday, some things due on Friday, and some things due on Sunday. So it's good to make sure that you have some study time before Wednesday, again, some study time before Friday, and then study time before Sunday. So if this were not possible for me, I might pick just Tuesday to get something done in the morning, and then Friday to get something done in the morning, and then Saturday. I can be flexible based on what I know I can really do. Hey, this is my weekly schedule. I made it as realistic as I could. I'm not totally sure. I won't know it till I try it. But at least I'm a little bit ahead of the game because I've thought about when I might be able to get the work done. I won't get stuck on Sunday night saying, oh no, I have a whole week's worth of work to do and I'm going to be up until 3 a.m. doing it, because I've given myself some space. I've given myself some grace. Okay, so the next part of this lesson is how to make your weekly study plans. You know what your schedule is. You know what your study time is. And now we want to get into the nitty-gritty details and figure out when you're going to do what. So I'm going to ask you to go back down and click on the link that says week 2 study plan. This is week 2, so we'll make the study plan for this week. Go ahead and click on it to open it. When you click on it, you should see a template that looks like this. Click on Use Template to open up your own version. And here's the document ready for you to work with. So I'm looking at the first row of the study plan, and it says, read the Age to Age Guide to Time Management by Estroff. So the first thing I have to do is a reading. It's due January 18th. That's a Wednesday. So I know I have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to do it. I'm not sure how long it's going to take me. So let me click on that. And when I open it up, I can see, all right, it's like 4 pages with pretty big font. Based on what I know about myself as a reader, it's going to take me, I don't know, half an hour to read this really well. just to make sure that I'm reading clearly. And in case there are a lot of words I don't know and I'm going to have to stop and figure them out and look it up. So I'll give myself about half an hour to complete that. So I look at my weekly schedule. I know that the reading is due on Wednesday. So I'm going to have to do it one of these 3 days, half an hour, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Might as well get a jump on it. So I'm going to plan to do this. I'm going to start Monday. Half an hour. So let's say I begin at 7, I'll be done at 7:30. So I'll start at 7 a.m. and I'm going to finish on the same day, Monday at 7:30. That gives me half an hour to read it. All right. And then the next thing that I need to do is respond to a question about what I read. Okay. Why don't I use the second half of Monday morning to do that? I'm going to do that Monday from 7:30. And that way it'll still be fresh in my head. I just read it, so it should be easy to answer the question. And hopefully half an hour is plenty of time to do the questions. And that is everything that's due for Wednesday. So great, I'll get it done on Monday. I won't have to worry about it. The next thing I need to do is watch a lecture. Let me click on that lecture. And if I look down here, I can see that lecture is 20 minutes long. I can see it down here in the timer on YouTube. So the lecture is going to take me 20 minutes to watch, 18 minutes, but basically 20 minutes to watch. So I'm probably going to need about half an hour for that. And it's due on Friday, the 20th. Let me go back to my schedule. What is like the best day for me to do that? I got up early on Monday, so maybe I'll give myself Tuesday off. Wednesday is such a crazy day because I have the committee meeting at night and I want to be able to rest. So why don't I do it Thursday morning? So I'm going to watch the lecture Thursday from 7, Thursday, 7:30. Give myself a little wiggle room there. Oh, and then again, there are questions for the lecture. Cool. So I will do the questions right after on Thursday morning. That should give me half an hour to do the questions. The next thing that's due is another lecture, Meta. That's the one I'm watching right now. So I would plan to do this. So this is due on January 22nd. That's a Friday. Another half-hour lecture. It's due on Friday. Oof, I didn't give myself very much time. Looks like I'm going to have to do it on Friday morning. Okay, because I did the other thing on Thursday. So I'm going to watch that Friday from 7 to 7:30. And then I need to do, oh, there's a lot of work that I have to do that has to go into this. Shoot, I'm not going to have enough time to do this all in an hour. Well, I'll do the first part. Friday, 7:30, Friday, 8. But now I have 2 more assignments to do, and they're due Friday at midnight. Okay, so I'm going to have to get out of my usual study time. Let's look at the schedule. When can I do it? Okay, well, this is when I get off work early. So I guess I'll do it at 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock. Hopefully it won't take me that whole time, but I'll give myself that whole time on Friday after work to get it done. So I'm going to put that into the schedule. Friday, 3, Friday. You know what? After work, somebody always talks to me. I never really finish at 3. I'm going to call it 3:30. And then I'll finish this one Friday at 4. And then I'll start this one at 4 and finish it at 4:30. Okay. Now these things are due on Sunday. So if I look at my weekly schedule, I have my Saturday morning time. I've got 5 hours blocked out to really get this done. So that's great. I've got from 7 to 11 on Saturday. Did I really say I was going to get up at 7 on Saturday? Okay, maybe 8. I've got 4 hours Saturday morning from 8 to 11. So I'll watch the lecture on Saturday at 8. What's next? A video. Well, how long is the video? Oh, the video is only 5 minutes long. Okay, cool. So we can do that. I'm going to watch the video at 8:30. Let's imagine I have to watch it twice. We got 8:40. And then I have to answer these questions about the video. I'll give myself another half hour. So great. Okay, so that doesn't take up too much of my Saturday. I'll be done with everything by 9:10. That's really good. And then I get Sunday off. So what you watched me just do was very personal. It was based on how I know my week is going to go, how I know my life is going to go, how fast I am at reading, knowing that I usually need to watch a video more than one time, knowing that I don't really leave work at 3 o'clock on Friday because somebody always wants to talk to me for a while afterwards and I'm late. So I'm using what I know about my own life to get as close to a study plan that's really doable for me as possible. Now that you've watched this video, I want you to do the same. Make an example study plan for this week, week 2. If you've already been working along with me to get that done, great. Then all you need to do is hand it in. And then I'd like you to start from scratch by making a plan for next week. So open the link either here or in the weekly overview document, click on it, open up the study plan for week 3 and make a plan that will really work for you next week, something you think will really, really work to get everything done. When you're finished, also submit that week 3 study plan to me. So you're going to send me your weekly schedule filled out. It looks like this. I used colors. That's not necessary. You do it however makes sense to you, but send this to me so I can see how your week looks. Then you're going to show me this week example, the week 2 study plan. Some of these things on the plan you have already done. So, just fill in when you did them. And that's going to look like this with your times. Don't use mine, use yours. This makes sense for my life. We want something that makes sense for yours. And then finally, you're going to take that week 3 study plan and make a real plan for next week when you really want to get everything done for next week. Now, if you have any questions about study planning or you need any help, please don't hesitate, reach out and let me know. Good luck with your study planning.